Hey everyone, and welcome to the Criterion Connection. I'm Wade,
And I'm Joe.
and we are starting our spooky October edition. We're gonna do horror movies for the next 5 weeks. This one, um, we this one's been on my list to watch for a long time, and I believe a fan suggested this like years ago, like maybe like the first time we did this.
Mm-hmm.
It's Vampyr from 1932
By Carl Dreyer.
Yes. This was a movie that was kind of, I think, lost in time. Or just like the film just was not as, couldn't be, not all of it could be restored properly and stuff like that. So it was like, this was a restoration from 1998.
Yeah, it's using parts of the French and German prints.
Yes.
That they had found.
Yes. And, and this is a spooky movie.
Yep.
It's about vampires, but not the normal vampire.
No.
It's like we did Kronos a couple years ago. It's kind of like that. It's I was not knowing what I was expecting when I saw their 1932. I'm like, oh, it's probably gonna be like Nosferatu. It's not like Nosferatu. But they used lighting as good as Nosferatu. I feel like it's like a combination of Nosferatu and Cabinet of Dr. Caligari with the architecture and the structure and the and all that. And I will say this. Compared to modern horror movies, this movie's well shot.
Yep.
Yeah. This one has genuine dread. It has genuine, like...
The movement's very deliberate.
It's eeriness to it. Like, it just looks creepy, and there's something off. When you watch, like, a modern horror movie, it's, like, so crisp, and, like, the camera movement's very still. This one's, like, almost always moving.
Yeah, the unstable camera kind of keeps you on edge. It's really used to great effect in the movie.
Yeah, and this was made in 1932, and they do these great camera techniques. And there's a nice thing on the Criterion channel where they have they interview Guillermo del Toro and why he loves the movie and stuff like that. And he basically said like they used this between silent era and it was the talking era.
Yep.
And he purposely used like the lighter camera so he can move deliberately.
Yeah.
And the camera is the audience. It's a character.
Yeah, and it's basically allowing you to kind of peep like into certain things, get a lay of the land a little ahead of some of the characters or a little behind some of the characters. And and it's a great way of just kind of using the camera not as just a means of recording, but allowing audience to actively participate. It's something that Roman Polanski does.
Yes.
In Rosemary's Baby in certain ways that he frames certain shots.
And there's also, if you watch this movie, you could say like, I'm pretty sure David Lynch would it was very inspired by this movie.
Yeah.
Based on just like the general like feeling, like when Alan goes into that little inn. The wallpaper is like it's so weird, the lighting is just great in this. Alan, the guy who plays Alan Gray, his eyes
very expressive.
Yeah, like he's really good in this. The actors are pretty damn good at this. They look creepy, like the one, I think it's Leon, she's the one that's under the spell.
Yes.
And she has that smile in the chair, and you're like, what the hell? And then you have the doctor, who just looks like a menace.
Yeah. He reminds me a lot of, like, Dr. Mabuse.
Oh.
From the old Fritz Lang.
I thought you were going to say the grandfather from Willy Wonka.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going with.
But that's not where I was going. I was going more movie. Horror movie route.
Well, that boat scene in Willy Wonka is pretty horror. But yeah, like it's really like like I said, the camera's really good. Like when Alan has the vision of him in the casket, and you're in the casket with this, such great visuals. It's so well shot, well acted. It's got it's not the typical vampire movie. It's more of like kind of a curse, like and also that weird old guy that walks into Alan's room. He's like, why are you walking in my room, man? And then and it turns out he's like the father of Leon and I forget the other one's name. starts with a G.
Yeah.
But Gregoria, I think, I don't know. So he dies, Moda, and then, he gets, it's like a lot of themes, a lot of supernatural. It's got a nice look. It's got an eerie feel. It feels like a horror movie.
Yep.
It feels like everything is just spooky.
It seems
Atmosphere is the word.
Yeah, it's very atmospheric, and it's just kind of your like this is. It feels like when you go back and watch, you're like, okay, this is like the prototype horror movie.
Yes.
Like they kind of set the standard pretty early on. Like you had this, you've had Dracula at this point, Nosferatu, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Like they're like, okay, we've honed in on horror movie visual language, and this movie is just kind of like a prototypical horror movie, and it's one of the first ones to kind of nail everything.
Yes,
in my opinion.
There's also great like skeletons in this. The skeleton,
probably real skeletons.
The skeleton with like the poison in the hand. Also, when they kill the main vampire. Put a stake through her heart, and she turns into a skeleton. That was like pretty cool. Yeah. Also, there's a lot of double imaging. Is it double imaging? I'm not.
Like superimposing.
Superimposing. That's the word I'm looking for. It's been a while since I've done photography class. Yeah. Superimposing, like he's like a ghost, and they use camera and editing to it like so good for that time period. So good.
It's high level craft. For that time.
There's only one gripe I have. It is the subtitles over text.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work. It just put a black box underneath. I don't know, because the subtitles just bled in. It was hard to read.
Yeah, I agree. That certainly is a problem, and it's like some sort of.
And also, like the beginning was super fast. You couldn't catch up in reading it. Yeah,
it's a very like. It's a technical issue. It's not something to hold against the film itself. Yeah. It's just how we have it now. And we got to figure out a way to subtitle it better.
Maybe letterbox it, and then at the bottom of the letterbox, you put like the text.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's got to be some way that everybody could agree.
But yeah, like, so Joe, I'm just going to say buy, rent, or skip.
I think this is a solid rent. I'm not 100% on like whether everybody will be on board with it. I'm close to it. I bought it myself a while back, but it's one of those ones I think everybody should watch once. Like it's not one of those ones like where I say rent and I'm like you can just watch it once and forget it. But I think everybody should watch this one at least once.
I'm gonna say buy.
Yeah, it's real good.
I'm gonna say buy.
Yeah.
As someone that's been wanting to watch it for like a decade, and I finally got to watch it, and I'm like,
and it held up for once.
It's great. Like if you want to do horror movies, or if you just love horror movies, definitely watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Own it. If you're a DP, or cinematographer, whichever you want to be called, get this. Like it's just. Or an actor. Like there's so many things you can use. Editors. There's so many things you can do with this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think, especially for this season, if you're doing a 31 movies for Halloween or whatever, like I usually do every year, this one has to be in there.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it before, you have to watch it.
I'd say buy. I really liked it. I want it in my own collection. So
yeah, I have the. I think it was the re-release from a few years ago on DVD, and it's just like this fat set. Like it comes with the script and everything.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. 1 second. Make sure it's still recording. Little side note. Apparently the polyester DVD or Blu-ray, the release, does come with odometer or whatever. Odorama. You never can say it right. Anyway, so that's our thoughts on Vampyr. Let us know in the comment section below if what you think about the movie. What are some great Halloween movies that you like? Here's another one. What's some good vampire movies? They don't have to be on Criterion Collection. Just tell us our favorite vampire movie. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we do like horror movies.
I can tell you mine. It's Fright Night. I'm going to just tell you that. The original, not the remake. The remake ain't that bad. But Let us know in the comment section below. That's the first week of this. We have 4 more weeks of horror. We're gonna have a lot
It's nice
of.
to have October as a 5-week month for once.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of. It's gonna be a lot of different titles. Like we're not gonna try repeating the same titles or directors. So it's gonna be next week could be psychological. Next week could be a Cronenberg. Next one could be just
50s cheese.
Oh, or it could be just classic Japanese ghost stories. Or
Could
whatever.
be.
Yeah, there's so many choices.
Who knows?
So, yeah. Till next time, I'm Wade.
And I'm still Joe.
And we will see you later.